PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Hey, the second week of talking a little bit about TSS and TSSP, kind of an addition to the Camry program we've done. This week we're going to pick one feature and talk about lane departure and lane assist. So driving down the highway, again, we're back to the distracted driver. We're back to the lane shifts in the road. There's so many places in America right now where traffic patterns are altered because they're working on, I guess in every town they're working on the highways, and it seems like they're never going to get finished. Well, you've got a solid white or solid yellow line on the highway, and those are there because we're not supposed to cross those lines. But people are always moving into your lane back and forth. They're picking up the phone, they're texting, they're turning around yelling at their kids, or they're just tired on the road. I think that's, if the story I was going to tell somebody about lane departure, it would be that I press myself a lot of times. If I'm going to be driving somewhere, let's say I've done a training session or a double, and I'm out of the hotel, got everything cleaned up, packed up, got in the car, and I'm about 5 o'clock departure, got up that morning at about 5, set everything up for you guys, and now I've got a 3 to 4 hour drive in traffic, and I'm going to arrive at the hotel somewhere between 8 to 10 o'clock that night. Man, I'm tired. I'm tired. And you get on the road, and the road just it's almost like a lullaby. And a car equipped with a sensor that will alert me when I drive over the lane is something that I want on every car. And an auto alert. You've been in a car with somebody before, and the buzzer goes off. It beeps that they crossed over a line, and as a passenger, you look up. Of course, you're over there on Facebook or whatever you're doing, but you realize that, hey man, my life may be in jeopardy because that noise just happened. I mean, think about this. Think about how many people's lives could have been saved over the last 50 years if every single car would have had a warning system in it that they're about to cross a line. Everybody that's watching this video right now either knows or has heard of somebody in your life that has had somebody cross a stripe and there's been an accident and possibly a death. I mean, everybody knows that there's that, and it's happened to somebody, and it may be happened to somebody that was close to you. That is something that Toyota's trying to build into the technology to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. So we've been talking about most everything is set at 25 miles per hour. I don't know why that is. I guess that's just that's a parameter they build in. Lane departure is set at 32 miles per hour. So you must be going 32 miles an hour or higher for this system to work. You can disable the system. So if you're in a place where the stripes are going everywhere because it's 5 miles of road construction, you don't want that alert going off at all times. So you can disable the system. And there's an override. There's sometimes that I'm going to pass, and there's a solid yellow line and a dashed line. I'm going to pass because it's a passing zone. So if I look at that passing zone and I start to go across that yellow line, then my alert's going to go off. If I turn my signal light on, then that overrides the system and I don't get that audible alert. I think that Toyota and other manufacturers built this in so people will start using their turn signal. Don't act like you don't know what I mean. You're sitting at a stop sign, there's major traffic, and you just want to pull out and be on your way to go home. And finally there's a little bit of break, and you say, that guy's too close, I'll wait. When he goes by, I'll go. And then the guy slows down and makes a turn, and you're going like, really? You couldn't turn your signal light on? So maybe we're doing a little something on the sidebar here, and we're training customers to actually use their indicators to let us know what their intentions are. The camera in the car, again, looks at and can determine the lines on the highway. So the big difference between lane assist and just a lane departure alert is that now if I cross the line, if I've got lane assist, it can actually steer the car. It can actually steer the car back into the lane that I'm supposed to be in. So you've got two different options right here. Things that can override this system. We always want to talk about this. If the camera can't determine the stripe, once you're driving at night and it's raining outside and the road becomes reflective because of the water on the road, then it's going to be a real hard time for that camera to be able to determine the stripe and when you cross the stripe. If there's foggy conditions, or obviously if there's snow on the road. So take your customer out, take them on a demo drive, and say, look, what I'm going to do is there's no traffic behind me. I'm going to drift. I'm not paying attention right now. I'm going to drift into the wrong lane. And let's say we're in a heavy traffic situation. So you set the story up. As they start doing that, they hear the audible alert. The cool thing about this is once a customer gets features like this, they're never going to want to buy a car without it again, because it becomes such a tool that they use every day. I mean, the bad scenario is when you drive with that every day and then you jump in a friend's car and you're driving down the highway and you realize you're in another lane because you don't have that indicator. So that keeps us selling customers cars that grow with technology. Once I buy into the technology, I'm always looking for that next technology. Tell a story, build the value in the feature, because remember, it only has to work one time before it's worth whatever money you paid for it. Technology is fun to talk about as long as the customer can understand. PK52, lane departure and lane assist, the Saturday morning meeting.